So this is for loans for youth. Okay. We're live, sir.
All right. All right. Right. Okay. Hey, can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Wonderful. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Matilda? Hey, Christina, how's it going? All right. Well, y'all, let's get started. Lots of people are concerned about the youth. They're concerned about the youth and their grades, their behaviors, their interactions. And when you think about the effort or the energy to serve young people, this shows up really well in a youth program. You can be a youth serving organization, that's a YSO. And youth serving organizations, sometimes they have youth that are part of their leadership team, they have youth that are on their boards. When you're looking at youth programs, there are all types of skill sets that you can teach them. All right. And when you're doing your youth program, you don't have to only think about feeding them or giving them food. Um, Here are actually 10 things, uh, 10 things that you can do with your youth program that other people might not have already thought about. All right. So before we go into that, just as a general introduction, I'm Jay Hackett. I've helped thousands of companies generate money through grants and donations. My total so far is $107 million that we've helped get into the accounts of organizations, both local, national, international, small, large. There's a lot of money out there. It's a lot that's available, and people just don't know um, how to get it. And so, uh, over the next few days, we'll be talking to you about what you can do to get the money for your program so you can help the young people in your area. All right. So, I remember there was I read a book called Communities from the Inside Out, Communities from the Inside Out. And this book, it was a green book, um, and they talked about a credit union that was operated by young people. The credit union was operated by young people. They gave out loans up to $500, and they had accounts, and the young people did everything. They approved the loans, the applications, the reviews, the checking accounts, etc. And then when I got out, I I noticed in my area that this credit union had a branch in my city. It's called Self Help Credit Union. Long story short, I ended up finding out that this credit union, as a nonprofit, did a whole bunch of creative things, and that this youth-led credit union was something that they did as a project, and it grew into something really big. So when you think about your youth program, whether it is a youth program in your church, in your community, whether it's AAU or anything like that, it can be something very big. You just have to think about how to sustain it, and the way that I think you can sustain it is with grants. All right. So here are 10 things that you can do with your youth program and how you can get them funded. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you some grants that are available right now that have short programs, quick turnarounds, just in case you have some young people that need scholarships for school. All right. So, number one is academic enrichment. So, whether it is an after school program, you can offer homework help, STEM clubs, that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or you can do literacy programs. You can do this after school. You can do it over the summer. Um, I remember there was a middle school, Asheville Middle School. They had a program called Homework Diners. Now, Homework Diners operated one or 2 days a week at all of the middle schools. Homework Diners. And what they would do is they would have teachers and community volunteers come to the cafeteria, and they actually hired my culinary program to cook the food at night so that that night they would have a full meal, like a dinner meal. And grants paid for the food, the staff, the catering, and anybody that needed to be there as staff, in addition to celebrating the volunteers. And this grant paid for it for a whole year. Homework Diners ended up going from one school to covering all the schools. And there was never any problem with the money because they were doing this. Um, as enrichment. This is an after school program. What would it be like if your building, your program, your church, your organization could do a homework thing once a week, and not only do homework once a week, but do it in the cafeteria and offer food? Or what if you offered some Saturday enrichment where people could do work on their projects together, and you had food and you had staff, etc. All right, this is easily fundable if you just know how to package it. You can also, number two, you can teach life skills, all right, for your youth program. When you teach life skills, um, and actually, life skills can be a single line item on your budget. Life skills is when you're teaching essential skills like cooking, like financial literacy, resume writing, conflict resolution, emotional intelligence, all of that stuff. All right. And you might call it adulting 101 workshops, and you have a series of them. Okay, now when you're doing programs, you don't only want to do one thing, you want to do a series of things so that you have more time. The idea is that you're bringing a change in their condition, you're making a change. We don't just want a single thing. That's why events are hard to fund. They're possible. I get events funded all the time, but the events that are most likely to be funded are the events that are part of a program. All right. So you can do a life skills program. If you're teaching cooking, financial literacy, resume writing, any of that stuff, that's considered life skills. And you can have a line item on your budget that say life skills, $10,000. Life skills training, $10,000. All right. Number three, you can do mentorship and role modeling. All right. When you're doing mentorship, those mentors are providing guidance, they're providing support, and they're providing exposure to new opportunities. So when you do your budget and you include a line item called mentorship and role models, you need money to train them. So the training might cost, $3 to $4,000 for a training. That includes the facilitation of the training and the food for the training and any materials. If you do a licensed program, you might have to pay a licensing fee. Um, if you are providing the mentors provide guidance. If you're providing guidance, maybe they need to connect people with different supports in the community. They're providing support, so you need to know what resources are available, and you're providing exposure to new opportunities. So that includes a career fair. Maybe that includes going to the Smithsonian Museum of American History, of African American History, the Smith or all the Smithsonian museums. All right. We did a college tour that gave them exposure. We went to Atlanta. We saw the new Black Wall Street in Atlanta. We paid for the hotel, paid for the food, and we paid for them to go to the Battle of the Bands. So they saw the marching bands, and they went to visit the colleges, and they went to a few museums. This was exposure for them. And in the write up, in the grant application, we said, this is what we're going to do. This is why we're going to do it. And when we came back, we noticed that this is what happened. The youth had ideas, and then they came up with businesses, and we had a pop up shop. All right. So you can also partner with the local colleges, partner with Black professional networks, and build mentorship circles. This is a great and easily funded program. Workforce readiness. Uh, Number four is workforce readiness. When you're doing workforce readiness, you are helping young people explore careers. Now, you can do this through job shadowing. You can do it through entrepreneurship training. You can do it through resume building. You can do it through mock interviewing. You can do it through internships. You can do it in all types of ways. And when you're looking at how you write this in the budget, you do a line item that says workforce readiness. And in your description, you say we provide, and then just pick the ones that you provide. Are you providing job shadowing? Are you providing entrepreneurship training? Are you providing resume building? Are you providing interviews or internships? However many of those you're doing, that's what you write in the description. All right. So you can run a summer CEO boot camp where you're a teen CEO boot camp where you're showing them how to be CEOs, and you're taking 6 weeks of the summer to show them these are 6 things or 6 skill sets that every CEO needs. All right. You can have pitch contests. We did a pitch contest with Black Wall Street. And what is the wrestler name? Ti- Titus O'Neil? The big black man. He's a wrestler. I think that's his name. Yeah, I think it's Titus O'Neil. Anyway, yeah, I think that's anyway. He's a wrestling championship, and in partnership with another organization, he had the relationship with them, and he came in to see the young people pitch their ideas, and in response, he purchased and donated one laptop to every single young person. So every young person walked away with a free laptop. Now, you can have weekly open mic nights. You can have mural painting projects led by local artists, young people with visual arts and music. This is arts and creative expression. Young people are great for creative expression, and it's even better when it's youth led. This includes music studios, spoken word, dance, theater, anything that help youth find their voice and manage their emotions. Art is very powerful, and there's lots of money out there for art. So when you are writing your grants and you're requesting money in the line item, put arts and creative expression. And in your description, we offer visual arts, music, spoken word, dance, theater, anything in order to help youth find their voice and manage their emotions. That's what you write. All right. Now, this works whether you are a grandma experiencing empty nest syndrome and you love the kiddies in the neighborhood, or if you are a church group and instead of just having general youth worship nights, you can have a youth arts and creative expression team. All right. This is how you get this done and funded. Number six, you can do mental health and wellness programs. In your description, you would say, we provide access to therapy, peer groups, yoga, mindfulness, social emotional learning. All right. When you are providing these things, you are not always the implementer, okay? You're not always the person doing the thing. Sometimes, so like therapy, you might not be a therapist. You might not have any therapists on staff, but you can still provide access to therapy through a grant funded program. All you have to do is partner with a therapy group or a therapist. And if they're doing it for free, that's fine. If they're doing it at cost, the grant can pay it. Either way that you have them involved, you're still providing access to therapy, even if you are referring them to therapists or if you are bringing the therapist on site. I remember in one of my programs, we did not provide therapy, but we were dealing with lots of folks that had chronic unemployment, that were living in poverty, and they had a lot of stuff that they needed to unpack. But we are not therapists. So we partnered with a therapy group, All Souls Counseling, that provided therapy for folks that did not have insurance. So they would come to the program one day a week, and they would just schedule to see all the people that they could throughout the day. And in our grants, we were able to say we provide access to therapy because we did. This includes peer groups. There's a special certification called peer support specialist. You can do yoga, cover mindfulness discussions, even social emotional learning. All of this supports their emotional growth. All right. For example, you in your program, you can do a mind over matter Mondays. Now, number seven, And for y'all that just joined, I'm Jay Hackett. I'm a professional grant writer, the founder of Black Wall Street ABL, and the creator of the software that finds and writes grants for you. So far, I've helped generate over $107 million in grant funding, and these are grants for churches, organizations, leadership groups, community organizations, national, international, local, big, small, et cetera, black led, white led, woman led. It doesn't matter. If you are there to help people, there's money available to you in the form of grants. And this week we're going over grants for youth programs. All right. So, number seven, you can get grants for community service projects. Now, in your budget, you'll just say community service project. That's on your line item. But in your description, you'll say we help youth led project. We lead youth led projects, or you're helping youth um, do things that benefit their neighborhood. This includes cleanups, coat drives, food pantries, voter registration. This also includes first aid and CPR, blood drives, any of these things that are done as community service, you can do that. All right. So you can call it Youth Serve Saturdays, where once a month you do a service project, and that service project, even though the youth are doing the service for free, that service project can be grant funded, wherein you can pay for a bus or a van that takes people to where they need to be. If everybody needs to get in the van and go to a job site. Maybe you're helping the Habitat for Humanity. So you have everybody meet at the program office. The grant can pay to rent the van and pay for the gas, and then you want to feed them at the end of the day, and so it'll pay for them everybody to go out to eat at a regular restaurant. It doesn't have to be McDonald's dollar menu. You can pay for them to go eat at a regular restaurant, and you might even need to get some supplies or PPE, safety equipment that they need. That can also be covered by a grant. And if you need something for all of the people to be easily identified, then you want t-shirts. Maybe you want neon green t-shirts so you can identify them. That t-shirt and the t-shirt design and the t-shirt printing and the t-shirt ordering, all that can be covered by grants as well. All right. Number eight, and we're going over 10 things you can do with your youth program. All right. On Friday, we'll come and we'll tighten all this up with the budget and with some grants. But today we're going over these 10 things, and then we're going over some grants that are available for folks that need money for school. All right. Next, you can do leadership development. Now, this is amazing. Leadership development is really popular, and it's easily fundable, especially if you're willing to do it for a lot of young people. All right, this is where, so your line item will just say leadership development, $10,000. And this is where you train young people. This is your description. We train youth to become community leaders, public speakers, peer mediators, and or ambassadors for causes that they care about. Now, this leadership development can include classes on public speaking, classes on poise. I remember we got a grant, and our grant allowed us to go and buy a suit for it was called the Altitude Accelerators, and we were teaching them business. And so as a result, we paid for a weekend retreat. That's paying for them to go to a campground that weekend, all the food for the weekend. It also paid for us to buy a suit for every young person. And each year our community has a big Martin Luther King prayer breakfast that has about 2,000 people. It's the hottest ticket in town. Everybody is there, and they normally have volunteers that will become ushers, etc. So we talked to the president of the agency, and we said, well, our young men have wonderful new black suits. Can we, these young black boys, can they be the hosts? Can they be the ushers for your event? And she said, oh, that would be, it's a Southern Belle that's in charge of it. Oh, that would be wonderful. And the boys loved it. They were able to walk the old ladies on their arm. They were sat people at their seats. They took pictures. Everybody loved on them. They looked good. They smelled good, sounded good. And in our program, we talked about what they had done. And in the program bulletin, it was a picture of them and what they had done. So now the whole community sees that the altitude accelerators are doing great things. All right. This is leadership development. You can train them to be speakers, train them to do peer mediation. You can train them to be ambassadors. You can train them to walk around downtown and tell visitors where things are. You can have a young leaders council. You can give them stipends for their community organizing projects. You can train them to be junior city councilmen, like anything you can think of, and it can be funded. Not only can it be funded, but the materials can be funded. If they need any special clothing, that can be funded. And the staff that normally would volunteer to work with them, instead of volunteering, those staff can be funded. In your budget, you put leadership development, the dollar amount, and this is what you write in your description. Number nine, cultural and identity exploration. All right. Now, um, when you want to celebrate youth identity through cultural history, so your Black History program is not a Black History program; it's a Black Heritage education program. When you're studying languages, maybe you want to teach Spanish. All right. Maybe you want to teach Arabic. Maybe you want to teach Swahili. All of these are cultural and identity exploration. So in your budget, you write cultural and identity exploration. Um, but in your description, you put, we celebrate youth identity through cultural history, Black heritage education, language, and travel experiences. Somebody asked me if there was a grant because they wanted to take some kids to Africa. Well, there are not grants to take kids to Africa, but there are grants available for cultural and identity exploration. And in that line item, in that description, you can take them to Africa. You can call it a Roots and Wings program that explores African American history through field trips and oral history interviews. I remember we went on a experiential learning trip, and we went to different sites along the Underground Railroad. All of it covered by grants. And then number 10, this is the last um, of what we'll talk about today. We're running out of time. Actually, I think I'm already over time. Um, but number 10 is safe social spaces. All right. So you can put this in your budget. The line item is safe social spaces. And in your description, you're saying we create safe, supervised environments for youth to connect, relax, and build healthy relationships. Now, this includes friendly relationships, this includes intimate relationships, this also includes boundary recognition, this includes hotlines. I remember I helped create North Carolina's national, I helped create the National Teen AIDS Hotline that was headquartered in Orange County in North Carolina. And that was youth created and youth led. It was called the National Teen AIDS Hotline. All right. Another another example might be weekly game nights. It can be teen lounges. It can be a pop-up cafe that's hosted in churches or in community centers. All right. Any of these things can be done for your youth program. This is what you write in the budget, and this is how you write it in your request. I'm gonna go back through them, and then we're gonna go over these last minute places that you can get money for school. All right. So academic enrichment programs, number one. Number two is life skills training. Three is mentorship and role models. Number four is workforce readiness. Number five is arts and creative expression. Number six is mental health and wellness. Number seven is community service projects. Number eight is leadership development. Number nine is cultural and identity exploration. And number 10 is safe social spaces. All right. So we're gonna be back on Friday to discuss budgets. I mean, not budgets. We're going to discuss budgets and how and where you can get these things funded. There are some specific grant agencies that you can use to get this stuff funded, places that you can connect with sooner rather than later so that you can get done what it is that you need to get done. All right. Anybody have any question about this before we go on? No questions? All right. Did this help at all? You to think about your youth programs and what you can do? Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. So here are some scholarship sources. If you are looking for last minute money, maybe you're a person that's in school, maybe you're a parent of a person that's in school, and you need some money for school, you need places that's going to do a quick turnaround, and you just don't know where to look. All right. Number one, you can go to bold.org. They're private and you don't have to do an essay. They do a quick turnaround. Also, you can go to Scholarship 360. Scholarship 360, they have no essay requirement, and they do up to $10,000 in a single award. You can go to Unigo, UNIGO, Fast Awards. Their awards vary. You also go to uh, what is this next one? College Aid Pro. They do a weekly list. All right. These are places, whether you need a little bit of money or a lot of money, all of it helps. And these are some places that you can go if you're serving young people and you are trying to help somebody get scholarships for school, or maybe you or your family needs it. This is a place that you can go and get what you need. All right. All right. Well, thank y'all again for hanging out with me. I'm Jay Hackett. If you need any help with any of this, please reach out, DM me, and we'll see how we can work together and what I can do to help you in your efforts to help your community. All right. Y'all take care. Bye bye.